Their father will not be here one day, that they're going to die. So what recommendations do you have for people to prepare them for autistic and neurodiverse people, to prepare them for that moment when they are living on their own? They're not going to have their parents here anymore, and they need to be sustainable and supporting themselves.
Well, that's just it. And what you have to do is what a basic principle in transitions is gradual transitions.
Mhm.
Like I remember when I was in graduate school, I was doing more and more work stuff. And I said to myself, I'm making a gradual transition away from the world of school to the world of work. And the worst thing you can do, and I've seen people do this, like graduate in college with honors, never had a job, can't handle the workplace. You know, for teenagers that are coming up, I want to have these volunteer jobs for someone outside the family, or some other little jobs they can do when they're 11 years old. I want them in real employment every summer.
Yeah.
And they need to be working for a boss that's outside the family, so that by the time they graduate, they know how to work. I had 2 career relevant internships, one at a research lab and another one as an aide for an autistic kid. And those were just set up through contacts. They were backdoor, total backdoor. The research lab, the lady that arranged the social events at my college knew somebody at the research lab. That's how I got into that one. That's typical backdoor. And we've got to start learning stuff like shopping and making money and budgeting. And, you know, a lot of it's just not being taught.
I know. When would you start teaching budgeting?
I was learning it when I was 7.
Yeah.
I got 50 cents a week for allowance.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wanted a plane, this toy airplane, that cost 69 cents, I had to save for 2 weeks.
Wow.
That's not hard to do now. It'd be $5. You buy that same plane today for $5, and it's a cheap plane compared to the one that I got in the 50s.
Yeah.
Doesn't fly as well as the one that they had in the 50s. But that's a very simple example of teaching a kid about saving money.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember where it got kind of overdone. There was this flying saucer airport thing in the toy store I wanted, where a flying saucer would take off from the top of the control tower. And I saved and I saved and I saved. And when I got enough money, they had sold it. Now, I didn't know that maybe the store manager could order one for me. You see, I didn't know about that.
Right.
Didn't know about that. Getting things ordered at stores was a lot harder. But it had been sold.
I bet you were heartbroken.
Yeah, it had been sold. But teaching some basic saving. You know, even if they do chores around the house to get paid, but then they want this video game or they want to stream some movie or something, then they're going to have to pay for that. They're not free.
And I think how to spend it's really important, because when they how to spend it, like how they should spend their money. If they get money, how
where you can go spend it all on candy or something like that.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like teenagers, and when you start turning into being an adult, you know, somebody to guide them as far as how they will budget and spend their money that they're earning at an older age.
Well, maybe the parents could just show, okay, this is the house mortgage. This is the car payment. This is the electric bill. This is the money that we make. We have this much money coming into the house. And here are bills that we have to pay every month. And if we don't pay the car payment, they'll come and take the car away. If we don't pay the house payment, they'll take the house away. Those have to be paid every month. And here's the electric bill. And if we don't pay that, they turn off the electricity or turn off the water. I think I would just start showing kids this stuff. And then another thing is they can have a little bank account of their own with a debit card. They actually have children's bank accounts.
Yeah.
And the card's not going to just keep swiping. You've got to look and see what the balance is. No, you can get these for young kids.
That's good.
And then start teaching them, like, that's some things they really ought to pay for. Okay, their lunch money, their
Movies? Movies. Well, back in the day when they
yeah,
went
they
to
have some
movies.
movies. But if you spend everything on movies,
Oh, I know.
then you won't have money for some other things. Same thing if parents decided that, let's say we're going to take a European vacation every month, there wouldn't be any money in the bank account.
Right.
But you're going to teach it by specific examples. Okay, if we buy a new barbecue grill, I'm just making up examples. It
Right.
costs this. We have enough money in the budget. Then you want to have some savings. So let's say the car breaks down. And you'd have money to fix it, because if the car breaks down, then either mom or dad can't get to work.
Right.
But just teaching this sort of stuff, specific examples.